All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to my stream. I hope you're all doing wonderful today. I know that I am. We had a great day yesterday where we had quite a bit of progress on my samsara dancer that you see in the background. And today should be a relatively easy day. So what did we do exactly yesterday? It was kind of doing a lot of finishing touches. We finished by putting some golden dots on the loincloth of our dancer. And then after these little golden dots, we kind of worked on more details of the pants. We did a little bit of light brown, very discreet yellow little motifs, knowing very well that it would get darker as it dried, but we wanted it barely showing, which we did. Then we did the shading of the feet, and then finally we finished the eyes of our dancer. So that was basically what we did yesterday, and today I think we're almost going to finish today's painting finally after 2 weeks of working on this. The first week we did all the background and the splattering behind the dancer, and then we did the pants and the shirt and the helmet and the mask the next following week, which was last week. And then this week we basically just put the finishing touches. And I think today, I'm going to zoom in here. And today, I think what we are going to basically do is just do all the outline in black, eventually around the inner and outer shell, do that outline in black. And then I'm not exactly sure what to do with this, with the background here. I'm not sure if I'm going to splatter some paint on it. I left it the way it is because I actually liked this background. So I'm not sure. And if we do do all the outline and we do finish all that, well, all I have to do is just put my signature on the lower right-hand corner and put this painting aside and start the new painting. So that is kind of what we are going to do, I guess. Texture, I think, to start doing the outline of the samsara dancer. Samsara dancer from the country of Cambodia. Just very graceful dancer. The way they move their hands and fingers. So that looks about right. So that's pretty good. So when I mentioned that I wasn't that difficult, I'm going to show you exactly my first painting that I've ever done was of a little boy in the jungle. And that painting, I must have done like maybe, I don't know, half dozen paintings before that. And they were all in the process of learning how to use paint. I didn't really know what I was doing. But that first painting of mine of this little boy in the jungle was kind of, I was just so happy with it. And here he is right now. This is that painting I'm talking about that I did in the early 80s, actually right after my daughter was born in 1981. And this painting, when I did it, this is the first painting I did out of my imagination. I mean, this is what I felt at the moment, having been in South America for 3 years and coming back to the States. I just needed to have like a rich jungle and a child in it that was kind of little anguished because I was anguished at the time myself. But anyways, so when I did that painting, I realized this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I was so happy with the result, not just visually, but how it just made me feel afterwards of expressing myself through painting what I was feeling at the time. So, and I'm sure any critic of art would look at that and say, man, there are a million mistakes because I am self-taught. It's true. I have no background history in schooling in painting, so I just wing it. And after doing like 35 years or 40 years of mistakes, well, you just develop your own style. And that's kind of what happened to me, I guess. Anyways, so this phase is going to take a while to do, so you'll have to bear with me. Unfortunately, and I'm going to have to be rather concentrated as well, so I might not talk as much. And now for the picking of the paintbrush. So this one for sure at one point or another, maybe this one or this one. So I'm going to start with this first paintbrush, which you can see maybe right there. No, okay, right here. This is where you can see my paintbrush. So as you can see, it is fairly a thin brush, but I'd rather start off thin, and if it's too thin, just switch brushes, go to something a little thicker. So let me start off this. Okay, so far so good. Bring that in a little closer. I'm going to switch brushes for this now. I like doing this in one shot, but again, if I screw up, it's no big deal because I can always catch up later, make up for my mistakes. switching paintbrushes. Everything lines in the middle. Remember to pull this zoom back once in a while. I noticed yesterday that it's off camera often. Okay, I'm going to use my makeshift easel here. Whoops, there we go. I do have an easel in the basement, but just too lazy to go get it for 1 or 2 paintings. So, okay, I'll just continue doing this and worry about the mistakes and later. So again, fix that. That's for sure. But no big deal. Let's keep going. Okay, so that's going pretty much as I want it. I must say, I'm going to just put a fan on so that it dries a little faster, because I can see myself, if I continue the way it is right now, I'm going to put my hand in the paint like I did yesterday. So to avoid those kind of screw ups, I think I should turn on the fan, let it dry a little bit, and I will definitely have to go and fix one or two screw ups, but that's part of the process, no big deal. So let me see here. I'm just worried about you being bored, so I was thinking maybe I could show you one of my kind of movies I do as well. And let me see, this one here, it's called, I could basically play, yes, let me play you this this little movie here. It's called A Quiet Place. It's like a photo montage, and it lasts about 4 or 5 minutes. It doesn't take that long. It takes place, of course, in my studio. I'm going to let that go for you. So I did have to take down the original music because of copyright reasons. If you want to see the movie with the sound on, you're going to have to go to my website, I'm afraid to say. So I'm going to go back, if you don't mind, and I'm going to start plugging away at this, continuing on this painting. I know myself so well. I'm already putting my hands right in the paint, right in the black paint. Unbelievable. Never misses. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. So as you can see, I've continued working on the outline. Now, I don't know if I have to mention this, but I will anyways. As the paint dries, the outline will be more discreet. It will blend in and it will lose its shine. It will become matte. And I often talk about the paint drying and how it gets darker when it dries, but it's as though there were two coats. The upper part of the paint dries and you can touch it and continue to paint, no problem. But it actually takes like 12 hours or 14 hours for the lower part of that same paint to actually dry completely. And it takes a different color the next day. I mean, you can look at it in an hour and come back like 12 hours later and it'll be slightly different. So I'm used to, and I have to project that final phase of drying. That's why I'm always so paranoid, and I mention constantly how the paint gets darker when it dries, because I have to constantly keep that in mind when I pick my colors, and especially when I try to match colors. So or put background variations in the background so that it doesn't stick out too much. And sometimes it does that anyways. I blow it, but that's the way it goes. So I am going back and I am going to continue on this. This time I'm going to work my way down to the feet. So let's go. Actually, I'm quite lucky today. Everything is going rather smoothly, I would say. So should I chance here without putting my hands in the paint? Let's go for it. There we go. Actually, this is where I wish I had my easel, so I wouldn't have to bend down so much and break my back. So when you have the paint, the right texture, and the brush, the right size, you can just do this really quickly in one shot, which is what I love, the movement. And it's true, this black outline is definitely influenced by cartoons or Japanese mangas. I love that style. I always loved cartoons as a kid. Oof, look at that, beautiful. In one shot. Well, let's take a look at that, see what that gives. Okay, I'm probably going to do a little more details with the black paint, but I have to wait for it to dry, otherwise I'm going to screw it all up. Anyways, with the fan, it's going relatively quickly, so that's pretty good. Let me pull this baby out again. Up. There we go. Yeah, I do see a few things to fix, but no big deal. So maybe now I'll do the outer shell while the inner shell dries. Sounds like a good idea. So again, the right paintbrush. Okay. Again, get the paint ready. And actually, I'm going to add a little more paint because I can tell that I won't have enough. I'd rather, in this case, have a little too much than not enough so I don't have to stop. Because again, I'm going to try to do this all in one shot. So, in French, they call this a main levée, which means you don't rest your hand on anything. You do it with your hands up. No, that doesn't sound right either. I'm sure there's an American English term for that, but I don't know it. So again, I want to make sure the paint, at this time I want to make sure that it's nice and thick because I definitely do not want to put 3 coats of this on. I would love to get it right the first time. And believe it or not, it's quite a good amount of surface to cover. So, I probably still don't have enough paint. So I'm going to add some more. If you think about it, there's at least 6 feet there. to do. So add some more paint. I got plenty of it, so let's not be too stingy. And as I'm getting the paint ready, I'm starting to wonder if I picked the right size brush. I might have picked a brush that's a little bit too small, so I'll check that out in a few seconds once the paint is all ready to go. All right. Definitely don't want this to be too liquid. Don't want it to start dripping down. Oh yeah, I can't see, right? Yeah, I gotta go over here. I have to get used to these cameras. I've only just been this is like my third day of playing with two cameras. Actually three cameras, but so I gotta get used to what angle and where you can see these cameras from. But since we're still in our learning phase, and as my son will say, you don't have any followers, nobody's watching. He'll even say, what's the point of doing a stream if nobody's watching? Oh man, that's when you want to slap the sucker. But anyways, I tell him the same thing that I told you yesterday. Why do I paint if I don't sell my paintings every day? Well, you do it because you love it. And that's why I do it. I stream because it's fun. It gives me a new challenge in the studio, another motivation to come in. Plus, I find it to be, it's kind of fun. Painting live reminds me when I was at Vermont Public Radio or at WKXE in White River Junction, Vermont. And to be a DJ doing things live, that's always kind of fun. I mean, even though you can have these Murphy laws, technology problems, and make mistakes, and so what? No big deal. So, anyways, so I'm going to bring this guy back down a notch. Start up on the upper left hand. Nice thing about this stretch canvas is that I can turn it around to do what I have to do. So I'm not a prisoner of that thing. And somehow I seem to recall having a paintbrush that was a little bit better suited for what I want to do, but which one is it? That one or that one? Or maybe this one. Ah, yes. I knew it. I do have my favorite paintings for certain jobs, and this one here is my favorite painting for this job. I've had this sucker for like, I think 20, 25 years, all my posters, everything I've done. This is the guy I've always used. I had a feeling I had something more specific than, well, this is a good one too, but it would have given me, I think, a little more. I would have had to do 2 or 3 passes. Now this one, if I get it just right, it could work on just 2 passes. If I'm lucky. I mean, I always believe there's an element of luck in whatever you do. And it still looks like I don't have enough paint in here. So, should I chance it or should I add more paint? I'm going to go for it. So, up. Okay. Oh, so far it seems like the gods are with me. Okay, first get that first pass in, and then now just kind of basically get it all the same width. And that takes several tries. Easy now, baby, easy. The first pass was on the inner shell, and the second pass is on the outer shell. And then I'll step back and see where exactly it needs to be. Easy, Daddy. Okay, step back and take a look. Okay. Bon, c'est une bonne chose que tu m'as dit ça, mon fils. Si tu m'entends toujours, je te remercie du message et je verrai comment régler ça tout à l'heure. I just had a message from my son saying that you can only hear the audio on one channel. And yet when I go back and listen to the stream, it's on both channels. So I'll have to dive into that a little later as well. Okay, I'm going to let that dry the way it is. Okay. Okay, not too displeased. I'm going to turn this around like that just to have a more better view of the outer circles. Okay. Okay, gonna let that dry and then I'll fix it up. I'll fix it up as I go along later. Opa. There we go. Again, the whole thing is going to change completely once that black paint dries. Really has a, I can't explain it, but it does have a very different look to it. And often little errors disappear when it dries. Don't ask me why, but that's the way it is, fortunately. So that's basically another one of my dancers. So I did a little series of dancers before, which is like this one, which I considered my cosmic dancer on top of the world. And then a few years back, I did these couple of people who were dancing as well. So that was kind of fun. A friend of mine even actually used that in one of his, on one of their CDs, their music CDs, which I thought was kind of nice. And then just before we were all in prison there because of the COVID-19, well, I did this last dancer as well. So anyways, these, so that's always kind of fun. And then my next painting is going to be, I think, quite different. Like I mentioned yesterday, I saw orange. I go by colors. That's how I paint. And the color that I saw was orange. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the motive will be, but yeah, I think I'm going to do some orange, blue, maybe a little bit green. I see two circles. I'd like to go back into space, outer space maybe. Maybe throw in one of my hearts there or something like that. Like on my badge right here. One of my, oh, can't see it. Oh well, tough luck. One of my symbols. And then this painting, am I going to leave the outer shell the way it is? I am still not, I'm not sure what to do about that. But for some reason, I kind of like it like the way it is. So I think I'm just going to leave it. And all I need to do is just sign this painting, let it dry. And to sign the painting, Honestly, I need to be sitting down, so I'm going to get my chair here. Get my chair, get the paintbrush out of my nose, and go for the signature here. So, let me move the camera a little closer so you can check it out. Fortunately, I can zoom in. I'm going to put it down there somewhere. Lower right-hand corner. There we go. And hopefully everything is going to go very well. I'm going to bet on it, but you never know. And actually, I'm even going to change paintbrushes for this. Get a paintbrush that's even thinner than the other. And so let's go for it. There we go. Davis Tricks. No spelling mistakes? All right. Well done. So let's pull back at the full view. And there you have it. Well, my friends, I'd like to thank you once again for joining me. I will be back tomorrow for another session. I'm going to be a little later tomorrow. Instead of starting the stream at 3, I'm going to start it at 4 p.m. I'm also very excited because soccer is back and there's the first match of Arsenal tomorrow evening. So that is good news after 3 months of no sports. Woohoo! Wonderful. Anyways, once again, thanks for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow at 4. That is my time. It'll be 10 o'clock your time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course. And then I'll be back day after tomorrow at 9 a.m. as well. So anyways, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye, my friends.